What's going on, folks? Welcome back to Guy with the GoPro Fishing Show. This will be tip of the week number 26. Another jerkbait hack. This time we're hacking the hit stick deep. So stick around, let's do it.
Subscribe on the channel and like that subscribe button. Share the dang show.
Alright, folks, so if you've watched the show before, you know I'm a big fan of finesse jerkbaits and just jerkbaits in general, whether I'm throwing them on a spinning rod or specialized jerkbait rods. It's definitely the hardest technique to put 5+ years into and be a novice, but it's definitely one of my top 5 that holds my interest, and I always aim to be a better jerkbait fisherman. That being said, I like to take floaters and turn them into suspenders because I feel like suspenders, rather than just limiting yourself to a floater that's only good in spring, why not turn it into a suspender and keep it in the strike zone through all 4 seasons, or all 4 levels of water temp that we're dealing with. It was successful with the finesse version of the hit stick instead of using suspend strips. Worked up at City Park.
Not even cranking it down to depth, I'm twitching it down. Dang, that's a good one right there. Yeah, hit sticking it, dude. Yeah. Jerkbait fight. Jerkbait fight.
And also worked in the river.
If you're in a pinch and you need... Oh, wow. That's on my hack, too. Yeah, buddy. It's on the old hack that I wrapped around the hook shanks. Hey, man. That'll boost somebody's morale.
So I'm pretty sure it's gonna work. Now, one thing I will say about this jerkbait, and I brought 2 Strike King jerkbaits up here for comparison, and I thought Strike King's bills were big, but look at that compared to a Strike King bill. This is the Strike King, this is the hit stick. So this, me personally, I'm gonna wind it down to depth of probably about 5 or 6 handle turns at least, and make sure I feel it swimming down before I even try to start a cadence with this bait. But I did opt for the gold black back, orange belly, which is a just fire color in clear water. It's got a lot of drawing power, especially on sunny days with that glint, and they just can't stand it. So these are some number 4 EWG Fusion 19s that we will be wrapping, and I'm using a 28 gauge floral wire just like I did with the finesse versions. So since this one here is a 9, this one is an 8, I believe, it does go from a 4 to a size 6 hook, so I decided in this instance to take the hooks off and just get one good crimp around there so you can get it going. And these are nothing but craft plastic tip scissors or pliers for when I used to wrap my own vaping coils. If you wanted to like put them on Instagram or whatever, you couldn't get them all nicked up with the creases of your pliers, God forbid. So this is what everybody used, and it helps if you can stop it once and make that turn, or use the pliers. There we go. And you can even hold it and do it. That way the wire doesn't slip around the hook shank like I'm doing here. If you got good pinchy fingers like that, which I do because I work on hand strength all the time, because it's important. If you gotta grab garments to defend yourself or limbs coming at you or whatever, good grip and hand strength is important. So let's see what we got around these short shank little number 6s here. Doesn't look like too many, maybe like 7. So on the front one, I'd obviously do 6. That way you know your bait will always be sitting in the nose down position, ready to be brought forward in the water column, or the strike zone, should I say. But you could even get better turns than that. What I would do in this situation, if I wanted more wraps on there, is keep squinching this down with the pliers, excuse me, and then continuing my wraps until the hook shank was full. But I'm cool with that. And then I'll just go one wrap lighter on the front hook. That way it gets its right orientation in the water. Since these bills would be the biggest bills of a jerk bait that I've ever dealt with. But this is a walleye bait, and it's marketed in the, walleye lineup from Berkley, not in the bass lineup, but it is a great crossover. I mean, us bass anglers, we bring stuff over from saltwater and other competitive fisheries all the time and incorporate it because bass are just awesome like that, So I will be doing 5 wraps on this hook, and I will show you guys when I'm done. Okay, so on this hook here, I did end up squinching it down and getting a good amount of extra wraps on that. Ended up with 13 down that hook shank. So I'm aiming for 11 on this one. So what I'm gonna do, once it gets filled up, is just squinch it back down. And you know what? I had better luck on this part using hands for the wrapping part. Sorry about that. especially if you turn the hook at the same time towards you. It does help because you are wrapping wire, so it's resisting you the entire time, which sucks. But the hack is cool, and it turns a floating jerkbait into a suspender that you can keep in the water column longer, fish year round, and catch more fish. And that's what we all want to do anyway. Yep, front hook here, back hook, and we're done. 13, 11. And there we have it, folks. One deep hit stick size 10 that comes with the number 4s with the little hook hack on it, and one deep hit stick size 9 with the number 6s with the hook hack on it. So next time I will see you guys is when we throw these in spring for some whoever wants to partake.